Have you ever felt like you were stuck in a routine, trapped in a life that felt meaningless? For months, I lived the same way, day in, day out. But then everything changed. It started with one strange encounter in a park, something so simple, but it snowballed into something that turned my world upside down. A man I didn't know, but who somehow knew everything about me. And that's when I realized the real nightmare wasn't the stranger, it was myself. My name is Riley Turner. I'm 23, freshly graduated, and just trying to make it in this big city. I live in a small apartment on the edge of town, barely getting by with a job that feels more like a lifeline than a career. My days are the same: work, eat, sleep, repeat. No real friends, just a few people at work who I chat with now and then, but no one I can really lean on. I used to have big dreams, but those have faded, leaving behind a sense of emptiness I can't shake. I'm not miserable, but I'm not happy either. I wake up every morning feeling like I'm just going through the motions, waiting for something to change. I think I've been stuck like this for too long. At work, I do data entry for a small tech firm, but it's the kind of job you do when you have no idea what you want to do with your life. It's unfulfilling, but it pays the bills, and that's enough for now, right? But lately, I've been feeling restless. I don't know if it's the isolation or the lack of progress, but something inside me is starting to stir. I've been questioning everything. What I'm doing, who I am, where I'm headed. My life feels like it's slipping through my fingers and I can't hold on to anything. Maybe I'm waiting for something or someone to make it all better. Maybe that's why I didn't see the danger coming. Maybe I was just desperate for something to change. One evening after work, I decided to take a walk in the park to clear my head. I walked along the familiar paths, the trees swaying gently in the breeze, and the last remnants of sunlight fading behind the hills. It was a peaceful evening, but that's when I saw him. He was standing near the fountain, motionless. At first I thought it was just another park goer enjoying the evening, but as I walked past, something about him made me pause. He didn't move. He didn't even seem to blink. He was tall, his clothes worn and shabby, and his hair was messy. But what really caught me off guard was the look in his eyes. Dark, unblinking, warm and strangely focused. I tried to shake it off and kept walking, but the feeling lingered, like someone was watching me. I looked over my shoulder, and there he was, still standing in the same spot, still staring at me, his eyes following my every move. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up, but I kept walking. What else could I do? Just some weird guy, right? The next day, I walked down the same path, hoping I wouldn't see him again. But as I turned a corner, there he was, standing across the street, staring right at me. My heart sank into my stomach. He wasn't just in the park anymore. He was out here, in the real world, watching me as if he knew where I was going. I told myself it was a coincidence. He couldn't possibly be following me, right? But the next day it happened again. And the day after that. Everywhere I went, there he was, always watching, always waiting. Every time I looked over my shoulder, his eyes would be on me. It felt like a game, a twisted game, and I was the pawn. I was losing my mind. I tried to ignore it, thinking maybe I was just paranoid, but deep down I knew something wasn't right. How was this happening? Why was this happening? It got worse when I saw him in the coffee shop one evening. I was just grabbing my usual latte, trying to relax, when I noticed him sitting near the window, staring at me. At this point, I had no idea what to do. I had to confront him. I walked up to him, and he looked up at me. His face was expressionless, but there was something in his eyes, a kind of emptiness. And then, without any emotion, he spoke. "I'm not following you. You're the one following me." His words hit me like a punch to the gut. What did he mean by that? I had never seen this man before. He couldn't possibly know me. And yet, his words felt like a twisted truth. What was he trying to say? The next day I received a letter. It had no return address, no postmark, just my name on the envelope. Inside it read, "You've been following me your whole life. Do you not remember?" Along with the letter was a photo of me from years ago, standing in the park near the fountain, just like I had been the night I saw him. I was speechless. How did he have this photo? How did he know I'd been there? This wasn't a coincidence. It was as if everything had been planned, as if my life, my every move had been watched by him. The more I thought about it, the more I began to question my own sanity, and I was losing track of reality. That night, I looked into the mirror, trying to calm my racing mind. But what I saw was not me. It was my reflection, but something was wrong. The smile was wrong. The eyes were wrong. It was me, but it wasn't. I reached out, touching the glass, but the reflection didn't move the way I did. I felt like I was staring into the soul of someone else, someone who had been hiding inside me all along. A few days later, I walked down an alleyway and found something spray painted on the wall. "I'm always here. I'm always watching." It felt like a message just for me, a reminder that I couldn't escape. The figure had been watching me all along, but now it felt personal. It was like he knew everything about me, every step I'd taken, every choice I'd made. I turned to look behind me, but there was nothing. I was alone. Yet I couldn't shake the feeling that someone, something, was watching me from the shadows. Everything came crashing down one night when I finally faced the stranger again. This time I was ready. I demanded answers. And then, in a moment of horrific clarity, I understood the truth. "You've always been following me, Riley. Don't you remember?" The truth hit me like a ton of bricks. The stranger wasn't just a random man. He was me. He was the part of me I had been running from, the part of me that had been hiding in the shadows, watching my every move. We were one in the same. The truth was simple, yet devastating. The thing I had been fearing was me. At that moment, I realized that I wasn't just running from a stranger. I was running from myself. The man who had followed me, who had haunted me, was a reflection of my own fears, my own regrets, my own insecurities. I was no longer a victim. I was both the hunter and the hunted. I took a deep breath and let the fear go. The only way to end this nightmare was to accept that the darkness I was running from had always been a part of me. And when I accepted that truth, the stranger faded away. I left the city shortly after. I knew I had to start over, to rebuild my life and confront the parts of me I'd been hiding from. But I'll never forget the lesson. Sometimes the scariest thing isn't the stranger who follows you. It's the part of yourself that you refuse to face. Have you ever been haunted by something from your past? Something you couldn't escape? Have you ever met a stranger who seemed to know you better than you know yourself? Share your story in the comments below. And if you want more tales that will keep you up at night, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.